and tell us all about you.
Oh, hi. Yes. Thank you for having me on, Brenna. It's always such a joy to talk to you. So I'm Susan Rioch. I'm a UX strategist and copywriter, but I also have a group coaching program called Beyond Web Copy. And that's for copywriters who want to be the go-to choice for web copy projects, get the best results for their clients, fueled by cutting edge UX, which stands for user experience, and start charging expert level fees.
I love that. And I love little background for, I think Susan and I mean, we've been friends. We've been Instagram friends for years, but I was really attracted to Susan because my last job before starting my business was actually working a little bit in helping UX, and I find it fascinating. It's learning even a little bit about UX that I did immediately helped me, I think, become a better thinker, strategist, copywriter. And so I love what Susan does. And, can tell us, like, what has your experience been like in the launch world? Because now you actually have a program where you teach other people all your UX skills.
Yes, it's all very meta when a copywriter has like a copywriting program and is also working on their own copywriting. But my previous two launches had some success. So we're going into the third, I'm in the pre-launch stage for the third round of Beyond Web Copy now. So the last two launches, I would say, were a success. They had about an 8 to 10% conversion rate on the sales page, which is pretty excellent. But I knew that I wasn't doing the program justice in the short, tight, traditional launch period, which my launches go for a week, so 7 days, which at max I feel like I could send about 10 emails to my list in that time. And because I teach something that's still an emerging field, like there's still, people aren't super familiar with UX. They might have heard of it, but they don't really know what it is. There's a lot of education that needs to happen for people to go, oh yes, this is the right program for me. And I know why this is going to help me write better copy. So doing that in the launch window was exhausting for me, and it was exhausting for my audience too. So, I got feedback from people like, this sounds great, but this feels really pressured, and, it's a big investment. I don't have enough time to think about it. So yeah, I think like it just made sense to really hone in on that pre-launch period so I could get all that education piece and really have people appreciating the value of UX, so that when I launched, I could focus more on the program.
Right. I love that. And can you tell us a little bit too, like, okay, so because we're friends, obviously, like what made you decide to go ahead and take the program with me?
Yeah. So I knew pre-launch was super important. It's one of those things, like I feel like I knew, but I think it's probably because I'd been listening to you for like a couple of years talk about it. And so like that was already for me. I was like, it was super important. And in my second launch, I had done sort of an ad hoc pre-launch. So I'd sort of mapped out, okay, these are the kinds of things that I want people to know before I actually launch, but it wasn't structured. I was just making it up as it went. And it would sort of get, 3 days would have gone from the last post, and I'd be like, oh no, I have to write another post. I don't know what to write. And it was all just very, haphazard. And I think that I was also just lucky that we are friends and I knew you really well. And I know how diligent you are and how generous you are. So I knew anything that you put out there would be super well considered. I also appreciate your UX knowledge and how strategic you are. So I knew that this would be like a really rigorous program, and I love using strategies that have already been proven and have then I can have complete faith in it. Like when I was this is a little bit off topic, but when I was toilet training my toddlers, I bought a book and I just went through the book like step by step, and they were toilet trained in like a week. And I'm like, that's my approach to things.
Everyone's going to want to know, what's that book? What's that
book? It's called Oh Crap Potty Training.
Okay.
I think, or something like that.
I'm going to tell my sister that. She's trying to potty train her son right now. So
I mean, we weren't fully there, but the biggest work was done in a week. So that's my approach also to business. Like if someone's got a strategy that's been proven to work, I'm like, tell me the strategy. I want to try it. It's going to just get me where I'm going faster.
Yeah, no, I think that's super. I think too, sometimes it's like, we know we have to do something, but like exactly what it looks like, it sometimes can be really hard to figure out. I know that's exactly how I am. Can you tell us a little bit about like what was your experience inside the program once you were in?
Yeah, I mean, it was just as good as I expected. I've said this to like everyone I know. Like, I'm like, if you write for a launch, if you're going to have your own launch, you need to be inside PPP. The group was just fabulous. There was the right amount of work to put in every week, so you could see that you were making progress, but it wasn't overwhelming. And I think like now that I'm in my pre-launch now, I'm just living the glory days of that work that I put in the program, you know. But even when I was in the program, I could see, oh, this is going to make my life so much easier. This makes so much sense. And you really walked us through it with so many resources, like so many. Like every time I thought, oh, I wish I knew how Brenna would do that, you'd be like, and here's the cheat sheet, or here's the like template or whatever. You really thought about like every single little part of it. So we had everything we needed to do it.
Well, and I want to say too, like having, for anyone who's watching, like having Susan in it made me a little nervous, right? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a copywriter. Like this is what an esteemed copywriter is going through this program. And so the fact that like, first of all, thank you again for being a part of it, but like just having Susan in there and then being it, just like, I think it totally helped with like the overall program and making sure I thought through things. And I love that you said that, because it does, like anytime I was like, oh, well, I guess if I'm going to teach them this, then I got to figure out how to like templatize it and make it easy. So I feel like I was working on my, my slideshow for tomorrow. And I literally was like, there is like templates galore in here, like every template you can think of. And I still have a couple that I'm adding this time around. So I love that. Was there like a favorite part of the program? Like one thing that really stood out to you?
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, it was the weekly topic templates that you give us. And it just, I won't, you know, share too much about what it is, because that's obviously something people are going to get inside the program. But the outcome of that was it really just helped me articulate the desires, the pain points, the objections, etc., like all the things we leverage in our copywriting. And I thought I had pretty well nailed down for my program, but this took it to the next level of articulation. It was absolutely genius. And now I have that to return to again and again, and to use for other launches in the future. Like I can, you know, it doesn't matter what I've got big plans for all the products that I'm going to be creating in my business, and I'm just going to be able to reuse this going forward. And I definitely will. It's just so genius.
Thank you. And I know something that we talked about was like, that I know that you really like too, was because I talked to Sherelle about this a little bit. Yes. No, was it Cheryl? I've done so many of these now, I'm going delirious. But about like the live editing, I know was something that you really liked, and I think especially coming from another copywriter, I think it's a good thing. Is sometimes I think people like, oh, you're a copywriter, you're like, you don't need help, and I know I need help, and you've actually helped me on some of the projects I'm doing as well. It's like, no, like it's to have someone look at your copy makes a big difference. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. Like I always think like there's loads of great things about being a solopreneur, like way outweighs ever going back to a salaried position as far as I'm concerned. But the thing that I really miss from my days of working in corporate is having really smart people around me to bounce ideas off, you know, all the time. Like you just can shoot over, like, what do you think of this? And it's not that you can't get there on your own. It's just that you get there faster with someone else's fresh eyes. And I think that that's something, you know, that's a myth that I'd kind of like to dispel. And that's why I'm so happy to like talk about, you know, I'm not like being all secretive, like not sharing my secrets about how I get the success that I get. No, you get the success that you get by collaborating with people and being open to their ideas and seeing their different take on it. And I just think, you know, surrounding yourself with super smart people, and that's just good business, you know, that's just good copywriting, good business. Or that's my opinion on it anyway. So yeah, getting your take on all my copy and hearing your insights, and like, you know, when you're writing for yourself and your own product as well, you can get too close to it, just like anyone can, you know, and just having an objective person being like, actually, I think this is the more compelling point. And you're like, oh, duh, of course. But it just takes you sort of like out of it a little bit. So anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, but yes, that was amazing. The
I
live
love that
editing was
ramble.
amazing.
And I know too, I think one of the comments, I'm putting you on the spot, but like, I think one of the comments that we had talked to is that you really like the community aspect too. Cause that was the other thing that I loved. And I heard a lot of good feedback too, is like, you're in this group of like amazing people all doing like really great things. And it's not just one, it's just not just copywriters or, you know, not just OBMs. We had people from all different backgrounds in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I think any program that I do, I'm looking for that community or networking aspect as well, and how you can position yourself, you know, as the expert within that group as well. So, you know, coming in and, you know, being generous. I'm happy to help anyone in the group. You know, if I had a spare idea, or, you know, when we're having our coaching calls, you know, and if I have an idea, I'll pop it in the chat, you know, like just sort of, building your network. I think that that's a great part. And everyone was just so amazing, and just great to see what everyone's doing out there as well.
Yeah, I loved it. And right now you're in your own pre-launch, and like, can you tell us a little bit, like, how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this has been the biggest change for me, and then I'll get to the numbers, but how I feel going into this launch is so different. Like, I had really, like, I knew from all the testimonials and feedback that I got from my program that it was amazing and a game changer and really practical and helpful. But because I've been able to articulate it so well within PPP, I have even more belief in my program. And then that helps me sell more, because I'm really confident when people come to me and ask me questions or something like this. I don't know what the difference is, but there's a different energy that I'm bringing into this launch and even into the pre-launch. And I'm just so much more relaxed and have more time because I've mapped it all out beforehand. And I'm just like, just trust the process. You've done the strategy, you've done the writing. Like, now it's just about publishing and putting it out there. So do you think that you have more energy because, like, what do you think has like helped your energy be so much better this time around, besides just the planning? Is it anything else from within the program that we did that you think helped? Well, I mean, you definitely have a bit in there about like the kind of energy to bring to a launch, to have a successful launch, and that definitely helped me as well. And just being cognizant of how much it's a mindset game as well, like, and just staying the course, which I think PPP really sets you up to do. But also just knowing, you know, that I can, because I don't know if this is something you're offering going forward, but because I've taken the coaching and the Voxer support going on, if I ever have a question and I've got like a little rock stuck in my road, I can just Voxer you and you get back so quickly and just removes the rock, so I can like keep going on my path. So yeah, it offers you a huge, I don't know, just like you just feel supported inside the program, which is brilliant. And it's great, like being in the pre-launch while I'm like in this coaching part of the program as well.
Yeah. So for anyone after the program this time around, I offered extended coaching, and Susan was one of the people who stayed on.
Best choice ever.
Yeah, no, I love it's like I was actually just talking to my business coach today, and I'm like, okay, how can I do more of this? Like, this is what I want to do. So I totally enjoy it and love like looking at people's copy and helping and moving along. So I love that. And then you've actually had some, besides these other results, you actually have had some other like number results. What are those?
Yes. So I know that this, dear listener or dear watcher, I know that this is probably the bit that you're the most interested in. So I have had, I'm in the pre-launch, in the middle of my pre-launch now, and I've already had 3 people sign up for my program. And I have warm leads coming in off every single email that I send out. And these are people who have been following me from a while and I've never heard from before. So, you know, like, it's just, I know that going into the launch, this is going to be phenomenal once I actually get into the launch thing. But I mean, the program's already paid for itself many times over just with those 3 signups, you know. So yeah, it works.
I love that. I mean, like, I've talked about this so much too. It's like, okay, like now that I've done this, like now, and once you have people engaging with you and replying to emails and signing up for your things, you're like, oh, like people are listening, right? So even if you do
Mm.
have a like a little quieter moment, it just feels like you have this momentum behind you. So how do you think that this is something like moving forward? I mean, based on what you're saying, I'm thinking yes, that you'll be using again, like how has it changed your view when it comes to launches?
Yeah, I think like it's just been exactly what I've been looking for. Like it just takes the pressure off that really, really tight launch window, which like for an anxious person, it's like by the end of that 7 days, I'm in just like complete overdrive and panic. So it's taken all the pressure off that. And like I said, like it's made me heaps better at selling as well. Do you know what I mean? Which isn't something that I expected to get out of the program, but it really has had that sort of knock-on effect. And actually my problem now is I have too many ideas. I'm like, every week I'm like, oh, I could spin it this way, or, oh, here's a story that connects really well to this point, or I want to reframe this myth that people think about UX, like I'm just constantly generating these ideas. So I think like every launch, I just see it as an opportunity to share more of those ideas and insights with people. And just seeing it really as like, I've gone from, wanting to sell, fill up my program. Well, I don't know that that was ever like really my intention, but I think I was, every time I sat down, I was like, how am I going to sell a spot? To being like, how can I connect the dots for people? How can I make them see what benefit and value this has? Do you know, it's just been like a reframe, like from that perspective as well. So yes, I will definitely be using this going forward.
Oh, I'm so excited. So if someone is watching and they're like, is this like, they're kind of thinking, should I do this? Should I not do this? I mean, can I just kind of like do a pre-launch myself? Like, what would you tell someone who's thinking about it?
I would say just join the program, get all the help at the start so that you don't have to spend years figuring this stuff out on your own. Because Brenna, this is the result of years and years of experience from you. Like, and this is something that I didn't bring. This isn't my expertise, is the content side of things, like the Instagram posts. And like, I love Instagram and Reels. I'm like the only person who would like,
you are. You are the only person.
So I love making reels and stuff, but like you have so much from the captions and the email marketing, and you bring all this experience in that just now has made me the expert and is making me look really good. So I'm like, it was just so worth the investment. And just even the fact that I've already got my investment back, a few times over, it just is such a no-brainer for me. So I'm shouting this out to everyone I know, Brenna, that behind the scenes, I've been like, take Brenna's program, take Brenna's program.
Listen to Susan, everyone, take the program.
So it's been so great to be here and talk about it with you, so I can like tell your audience in person.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. And as I've said to everyone, like everyone who joined this, like, it was a beta program. You didn't know, I mean, I had confidence, but I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. And I'm just so thankful that you came along on the ride with me. So, and still are, for that matter. So thank you.
Oh my goodness. I will take everything you do, Brenna. Like, you're just a genius. So I'm like, any opportunity to like work with you and learn from you, I'm there.
Well, thank you. And if you're watching, you feel the same. Tomorrow, the doors officially open for the next round of this program. And I'm just so excited. So thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. And I'll see you later.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.